Welcome to the channel, and in today's video, we're going to be diving into the tragic and frankly somewhat infuriating story of what is commonly referred to as the worst plane ever designed. And it goes by the name of the Christmas Bullet. So my plan is to try to recreate this plane here in Trailmakers to see if I can get it to work at all. But before we do that, let's dive into the story of this thing and show you why I was actually kind of angry after finding out the history of this. So this is probably one of the best pictures I could find of it, and it took me longer than I care to admit to realize that this thing is actually a biplane. Did you notice when you first looked at this picture that this is actually a biplane? I mean, it looks like it has one significant set of wings right here, but believe it or not, there's another set of wings down at the bottom here as well. In most of the pictures I found, I just thought this was like a lighting shadow on the bottom of the fuselage. Like, even with this historical picture up here, it still looks like just the bottom of the fuselage. This one, it looks like the bottom of the fuselage, but there's this picture right here, which you can actually more clearly see that the second smaller set of wings down on the bottom here. But the main issue with this plane is you may notice that the wings don't have any support struts. Now you may think maybe that was just oversight in the model or the drawing or something, but no, that was supposed to be the main attraction to the genius of this person's invention. So let's get into the inventor, who is known as Dr. Christmas. But trust me, there's nothing jolly about this character. So this article right here is probably one of the most detailed articles I could find of it. I will leave a link to the full article down in the description because I'm just going to be summarizing some of the highlights, in my opinion, that deserve to have attention drawn to them. But it actually starts off with this photo from the Department of Defense National Archives, which I'm assuming is some type of like patent record maybe. So you can see it says right here, Christmas Bullet Flexible Airplane, a strutless biplane exhibited at the Aeronautical Exposition. Guaranteed speed of 200 miles per hour. Invented by Dr. William Whitney Christmas. So already in the very first sentence of the description, it is highlighting the fact that it is strutless. The fact that it is missing key supports for the wings is somehow a feature and not a bug. So let's figure out why. So the plane was the brainchild of Dr. William W. Christmas, a con man and psychopath generously described by the Smithsonian Institute as a pioneer in aeronautical research. So that implies he was apparently the first to explore something in regards to aeronautical research. But I guess they left out the minor detail that he was apparently pioneering a complete disregard for pilot safety. So this doctor was not a doctor of engineering or a doctor of physics or aeronautics or anything plane related. He was a medical doctor, which, you know, instantly qualifies him to know exactly how to make a plane fly. So by the sounds of it, this guy was like a classic smooth talking con man that could just get people to believe in any product that he could present to them, no matter if it was a good or bad product. And unfortunately, the product that he decided to set his sights on this time was making a hunk of metal fly through the air. So Dr. Christmas claimed that he had successfully built and flew an airplane in 1908, but he also claimed that he burned the plane and all of the evidence of his existence to protect his design secrets. Because I know when I create a successfully groundbreaking piece of technology, I just like to make sure nobody ever sees or hears of it ever. And this next part is just the icing on the cake to Dr. Christmas here. He also built and flew an aircraft called the Redbird, which he patented and claimed to have designed himself despite it being a near exact copy of the AEA Redbird, a plane built by a completely unrelated company. If you're gonna copy someone else's homework, at least change the name. Why would you name your ripoff the same exact thing as the thing you're ripping off? Just separate. You might want to put some level of separation between you and the original if you want to get away with it. Don't make it that easy. All right, so let's get to the actual bullet now. The bullet's claim to fame was its flexible wing, you know, on the count of the lack of strut supports. It was unlike that of any aircraft which had flown before, which I can see how that could be a selling point, but also that's not necessarily a good thing. Like, I could create a plane that instantly bursts into flames as soon as you turn on the ignition and legitimately say it's unlike any plane that has flown before, but that's not a good thing. There's a reason why none of the other planes do that. Because it doesn't work. So Christmas apparently believed struts and braces were unnecessary, and that the lack of structure would allow the wings of the plane to flap like a bird. Does he not realize that the flapping wings of a bird is a very precise and intentional series of movements, and not just a completely unsupported thing flopping in the wind? Like, everything about this man's description of his own plane is just... it's all just cause for concern. He also insisted that the wings be made of 2 sections with its steel parts welded together. Despite all known laws of aviation indicating a lack of internal support would cause the wings to snap and fall off, Christmas insisted that the flexible wing would actually increase the aircraft's safety. This is the type of person that anytime someone casts doubt onto what you're saying, he just doubles down into the denial. Like, Mr. Christmas, it looks like you forgot to support your wings with struts in your blueprints here. Yes, well, that's just because I believe they're completely unnecessary. But Mr. Christmas... Dr. Christmas, actually? Yes, Dr. Christmas. If the wings aren't supported, there's nothing preventing them from snapping off. It would be a safety catastrophe. Actually, it's gonna increase the safety factor by like 7. 7 what? 100? No, that's not what I meant. So apparently people believed him, including the army, who gave them the engine needed to test this plane. I'm just gonna call him Mr. Christmas. I don't think he deserves the title of doctor. So in comes Vincent Bernelli, a co-designer of the plane. However, Vincent Bernelli is very adamant that he did not design the wings. He only designed the fuselage of the plane. In fact, according to Bernelli, he told Mr. Christmas that the upper wing must not be built as designed. He insisted that as designed, you could have snapped it over your knee. But despite these warnings, Mr. Christmas decided it was a great idea to have an actual human being attempt to fly the plane. And this is the part of the story where my feelings shifted from amused to angry. So this smooth-talking, unqualified salesman managed to convince someone by the name of Cuthbert Mills, a former Army aviator, to test flight the Christmas bullet. According to this article, some sources say he was a down-on-his-luck, unemployed former pilot, and that a handful of other pilots had actually been asked and refused because of safety concerns looking at the thing. But Mr. Mills here was in need of an opportunity, and Christmas told him what he wanted to hear, I guess. So apparently Mills, very proud that he got the gig, invited his mother to come watch him take it on his first flight around the end of 1918, beginning of 1919. And just as pretty much every qualified engineer could have predicted, the bullet's wings fell off a few hundred feet in the air, and Mills ended up spiraling and crashing to his death. Now, that is a very tragic and unfortunate part of the story, but it's not unheard of for a first test flight of a plane to not go well. It's usually a pretty obvious sign that you're not on the right track and things should be adjusted. However, Mr. Christmas wasn't the type of person to learn from tragic mistakes like this. He was the type of person to hide tragic mistakes like this so he can do it again. So in classic conman fashion, Christmas covered up the incident and claimed it was a resounding success. So Christmas managed to get himself a bunch of false press praising the amazing accomplishment of his awesome new plane. And on March 1919, he apparently displayed a new build of the frame with a new engine that he convinced the army to give him again, not telling them what happened to the previous engine. He displayed it in a New York air show, claiming it to be the safest and easiest plane in the world. The audacity to be able to say something like that after just recently being personally responsible for the death of a person. This is the part of the story that really started to bother me. So of course, under all these false pretenses, Christmas was able to convince another person to be a test pilot for this plane. So a man by the name of Allington Jolly became the next of Christmas's victims, and of course, shortly after taking off, he lost control of the aircraft and plummeted into a barn, killing him instantly. And of course, this incident was also covered up, and he got published in Vanity Fair promoting the bullet's supposedly flawless safety record. So fortunately, further production was halted, although apparently he kept trying to sell it to the military, making a whole bunch of false claims about his performance and blah, blah, blah. And basically, he somehow managed to live out the rest of his life, successfully getting away with all of his dishonesty and being responsible for the deaths of a couple of people. This article sums it up here pretty well. After misleading a senator, misappropriating an engine from the US Army, manipulating a major aircraft corporation, killing 2 men, and swindling a government out of a large sum of money, Christmas suffered no repercussions whatsoever and continued to live a life of victory and success. So there's a lot of information I left out that goes into deeper detail of the shady stuff that Christmas did. So if you want to check it out, I'll leave a link down in the description. But now I think it's time to see if we can replicate the worst aircraft design in history. Fortunately for me, unlike Mr. Christmas here, I can at least guarantee that nobody will be harmed in the making of this version of the Christmas bullet. All right, here we go. So this is going to be my primary reference picture because it has the most detail. So one of the really unique things about how this plane was supposed to function that I can't really replicate in Trailmakers was that in order to turn, there weren't actually like aileron control surfaces. It was supposed to be wing warping, where the wing would warp in order to actually roll and stuff like that. Now, I can't warp materials in Trailmakers, but I am going to try to keep true to the original design plans, where the wings are not going to be securely supported to the body, and I will give them some flexibility so we can see what happens. All right, let's see what the proportions here. This is the only real like propeller that I have in the game. I don't know if this is, I mean, it looks right proportion wise, but I don't know if it's going to be right strength wise, like thrust force wise. So I might have to add some artificial thrust in the body of this thing just to give it some extra power, but we'll see how that goes when we get there. All right, so right now I'm just trying to get an outline of the fuselage going before I add any of the wings or wheels or control surfaces or anything like that. All right, this is what I got for the fuselage shape so far. I think it's close enough. Now I'm trying to figure out how to get these wheels on here. All right, I think that is not bad actually. So the weird thing about this is in all of the pictures, it doesn't look like it has a rear wheel. It looks like it just has a rear peg sticking out to keep the bottom of the fuselage off of the ground, which actually makes me think I made this go up too far. Yeah, I made a little bit of a mistake here of how I organized this. All right, there we go. And then for the support in the back, I'm just gonna have some pipes stick out like this. And let's see how that sits. All right, I think that's not bad. Okay, does the propeller, it does make me move. Okay, that's something. I still gotta add the wings onto this thing, obviously, but I just want to know how strong this propeller is. All right, this propeller is not very, this is not a good sign. I could fit some mini thrusters in here though to try to make up for it. Okay, so now the lower set of wings is pretty much like right behind the wheels. They're gonna be tiny little wings that stick off like that. Actually, maybe set back just a little bit more, because then the top wings are in front, kind of like right here. Yeah, so this is where I'm gonna have the top wings. Look at that biplane, such a biplane. So what I'm gonna do to try to create that bird-like flapping that Mr. Christmas so confidently predicted that this thing would perform like, I'm going to add steering hinges that are connecting the wings here. And these steering hinges are going to steer, but they're going to steer opposite each other. This is like going to be my attempt to see what happens. Oh wait, this one's not attached at all. Oh yeah. That's an issue. Oh no, there's an easy solution to that. Just move these out, put a 4x1 block right here. There we go. So now I want to see what happens if I try to turn these in opposite directions. This is going to be my attempts to replicate the wing flexing concept, even though the wing isn't going to flex through itself. I just want to see if this will create some type of like pitch or roll rather. Oh, nope, that's not how it's supposed to go. Oh, interesting. Even though they're competing with each other, one of them seems to just win out. All right, see now you can see like weird things are happening, but it's definitely not the flexing that I want, because this is just completely rigid material that won't flex. So is there a way I can actually create roll here? Ooh, I got an idea. So I'm gonna break up the large wing into 2 sets of smaller wings like this. And then I'm gonna put a steering hinge with 0 strength connecting these two. All right, so I created a little bit of a different system here. So check this out. This actually causes some flex in the wings, which I think could cause some roll, but I had to take away the flapping bird motion. So I'm going to attempt to add more steering hinges to create the non-supported, no strut system that Mr. Christmas stood by as such an original concept. All right, I think I solved it. There we go. You can see a little bit of the flex happening there due to the lack of struts. Now I still keep the wing flexing. It's not true wing flexing, but it's simulated wing flexing. So if this all goes according to plan, I should immediately lose control and fall out of the sky. But I don't have a tail on this thing yet, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. Safety first. Let's get the tail on this thing. All right, I think I got all my control surfaces added. No idea what the center of mass and lift is like, but now let's paint this thing up using some of the new decals and stuff and see if we can get this thing to fly. By the way, the latest update, the decal update just came out officially on PC. There's a new skin added to the game, which is a clean skin, which takes away all of the, oops, yeah, that looks nasty. It takes away all of these nubs that represent all the attachment points. So now these are going to be really great for aesthetics and getting the thing to look good with decals. Ooh, and there's a simple hubcap, which I think is actually perfect for the way that these wheels look. All right, so by the looks of it, there's a big target thing right here. There we go. All right, there's another similar symbol on the wings as well. There we go. And then for some reason, it has this weird, like, block right up in the front here. There we go. I think that looks good enough. All right, but the looks of it, the tail also has some colors on it. Red on the back of the tail. Red, white, and blue. Oh, whoops. That's right. I can only do the one decal, so I can't do a red one and then a blue one. All right, I got an idea. I'm going to color the tail blue like this, and then I'm going to use the square, and I'm going to have the border be white. So now if I rotate this and scale it way up, oh, look at that. I hacked it. Now we've got red, white, and blue on the tail. Oh, how is this supposed to work? Oh, here's a limit. I have mirror mode on, but the mirror doesn't apply to both sides of the tail. All right, either I'm missing how to do this appropriately, or this is one pretty big limitation with the decals, is the mirror mode doesn't seem to apply when it's on the same block itself. Oh well, from this side, we'll have the red, white, and blue. From this side, we'll just have blue. We're just gonna deal with it. Last thing left to do is the wheels, and all I'm gonna do is put like a tiny little black dot. There we go, just like that. All right, now let's go ahead and take off and see how we do. We're not gonna have enough power. All right, we got full throttle. Throttle's open. Why isn't it making any noise? Why? I lost sound. The propeller doesn't make sound. It's that weak. Okay, clearly we're gonna need some extra thrust in this thing. All right, so since the default propeller is not strong enough, I'm trying to keep the center of thrust pretty in line with where the propellers are. So we're just gonna add these in here, and let's hope that those four are gonna be enough. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. Oh no, look at the wings as they start to gain lift. What? Wait, what? Hold on. Hold on here. All right, level back off. Do I have roll? Oh no, there goes the wings. Do I have roll? I'm trying to roll to the right. Oh, I may need to increase it a little bit. Oh my god, I'm trying to roll to the right. I just keep turning to the left. I'm trying to level off. Oh, look at the wings flex. We're flapping like a bird. A revolutionary wing concept here. Doesn't let me turn to the right. I am trying though. Oh, there we go. Oh, almost. Come on. Come on. Oh, no. This is so awkward, but it's doing way better than I thought it was going to do. Okay, hold on. It probably helps that the pieces pretty much have infinite stability as far as flexing goes. Like, you're not gonna break something off of your vehicle without an impact. All right, hold on though. I need to make some adjustment. I have no control over my roll right now, probably because I'm trying to use this wing flexing concept, but I'm just gonna give myself a higher angle. We're going from 15 to 30 degrees. So now you can see the flex is much more extreme. So what I'm hoping, my intent here is, if you notice that when I turn to the left, you see how the back of the wing tilts down and the front of the wing tilts up. I'm hoping that's going to give it this kind of scooping force where it wants the front of the wing to kind of scoop upwards. But you know what's probably happening is they're probably just canceling each other out. So what needs to happen then is the back part of the flexing needs to be less than the front part of the flexing, and then they won't cancel out. And now I should actually have roll. All right, let's see if that works. Okay. Let's roll to the right. Oh, it works. The wing flexing is working now. We have roll. It's official. All right, so this thing was supposed to go 200 miles per hour. I'm in kilometers per hour right now. Here, I can change it really quick. All right, so we are going a whopping 75 miles per hour. So we're not reaching nearly the speeds that the original Christmas Bullet promised. However, the original Christmas Bullet didn't fly. So we're already leaps and bounds ahead of the original design. Probably because my wings are actually a lot more stable. You know what? I've made my wings too stable. What I have to do is weaken. I have to lower the strength on some of these hinges. And I'm also gonna give myself, I don't think I have enough lift in the back, so we're gonna give a bigger tail surface area. All right, so now these hinges are set to 21 strength. Let's just lower it to 9. Oh no, that's not looking good. But I think this is a little bit more historically accurate. Oh no. Look, we're a bird. We're flapping like a... This actually looks kind of cool, to be honest. All right, signature flapping. Signature bird flapping, right? Oh, there we go. Look at that. When we go down, the wings go down. When we pitch up, the wings go up. As far as a roll goes, it's not feeling great, but it's kind of working until the wings go up. See, now, if this was like the real plane, the wings would have snapped off by now, but that's just not going to happen in this game. So we have that going for us, which is nice. I can't believe this. This is not right. Oh, no. This is not right. This should not be working as well as it's working. How do I have this much control? Okay, I'm going to try to turn around and land softly on the aircraft carrier. Oh, we're getting a bit of an oscillation now. That's not good. All right, let me see if I can turn this thing and pitch. Look at this. It's working. Oh, did you see those? We did a little bit of a flap there. Did a little bit of a flap there. Okay. All right. Level off. Level off. Level off. Slow down. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's so floaty. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Nailed it. I don't have any turning. This is fine. Just parking right here. No damage. No damage at all. All right, I gotta be honest, people. I thought this was gonna need a little bit more adjustment before I could successfully do a flight. But it appears to actually be somewhat controllable. The safety and stability ratings are off the charts on this thing. All right, well, here it is. The tragic story of the Christmas Bullet turned into this weird monstrosity of a terrible plane design. Look at this thing fly from this perspective. Yeah, this is just, there's nothing really redeeming about this at all. I did have some fun experimenting with the different types of like roll controls, and like the flexing of the wings is interesting to play around with. But would I ever choose to do that on a plane that I wanted to function? No, the answer is that's a resounding no. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if there's other weird things that you'd like to see me try to recreate on the channel. If you enjoyed this one, you'll probably enjoy some other strange recreations I've done on the channel in the past as well. You can check out this playlist on the end screen right here. Hope this video has earned your subscription. Anyway, this has been ScrapMan, and I'll see you next time. Bye.